At the same time, I went and took the Jaguar Riders and had them go off and kill off some more villagers. Hey there, folks. It's the Caffeinated Dad with another match that I had recently, and I'm really starting to like playing as Tezzy. I can't say his whole name, but the copycat god. Oh, that's a good title. The copycat god for the Aztecs. Now, his god power is a little unique. With the Obsidian Mirror, he gets to copy any god power from any other enemy. So he could basically just do it immediately and essentially get a free copy. Now, playing against Zeus, this is awesome. Because Bolt just 100% shuts down an aggressive push. It can knock out Heracles, or it can knock out the Bull Minotaur, which you can already see that he's going Athena. It's pretty standard for Zeus to go hoplites and get the Athena buff. But for this match, this was like the first match that I had played in a couple of days. I actually took a break because I was playing Path of Exile 2. You can see that on my main channel, by the way, Caffeinated Dad. But for the most part, in this match, my objective was to be aggressive, but then also try to advance to the heroic age as quickly as possible. And the reason being is that Tez Catapulta, I think is how his name is pronounced. His god power is, or his benefit is that he ends up getting the Jaguar Riders an age early. So he can get Jaguar Riders the second that he's into the heroic age. So I wanted to try a method that way. I wanted to try to be a bit more aggressive in that regard. Pretty standard opening on both sides. 2 on wood, 2, I mean, it's everywhere that you would think that it would be. I'm playing kind of aggressively in this regard because I am going to want to, it took me a minute, but I had to remember, it's like, oh, right, I have to shut him down. Like, I can't let him explore, I can't let him expand. We go into Hui Hui, and Hui Hui gets the Chinex, which I love Chinex, they're so good. They deal divine damage, which is great. But kind of the idea here is that I'm going to get up a little bit of a force to be able to protect against these 2 settlements. I know it always seems like it's going straight into a 2 TC kind of build, 2 TC kind of play. Feels like that all anyway. So he's got some of his villagers marching around. I'm over here scouting, doing what I can. He can see a little bit of what I have. Not a whole lot. He doesn't have good vision, really, in this regard. Not until he gets the Pegasus. With that, I'm getting units, and I already have units posted up here. And I have a Key Minchen spy, and I'm going to have him sit right here and try to protect, try to be aggressive in that regard. Because right now, all I'm trying to do is to block his advance. Now, there's a good source of food right here. There's this town center, the gold mine. There's a bunch of stuff right here. Now, what's important to note is that this map doesn't have a whole lot of wild hunts. It doesn't have as many. So I see this immediately happening. In 1 minute, he's going to go ahead and get this, what do you call it, town center up. So I have the god power already stolen, right? So I'm like, all right, let's get in there. Let's do what damage we can. Lightning bolt immediately. I think he does it in reciprocation. I think he uses it on my warrior hero. And then he uses restoration. So he's burned his 2 god powers right there. And I'm like, all right, just get in there and deal with the villagers. Now, arguably, I probably should have done that a little sooner. I should have shut this down a little bit sooner. The match probably wouldn't have gone on as long. But we get all of these guys killed, and then I'm like, all right, well, kill Jason, fight off Jason. And we're attacking, we're going away, and we're in a pretty good spot. So we get the kill on Jason. He's immediately training a hoplite and some more villagers. I should have just stayed on the town center, truth be told. I probably should have just stayed on to the town center at this point, right? Because if that TC gets put up, then it's going to be bad news bears for everyone. Like, I should have just kept attacking because it only has 26 seconds left on it. And then here comes a Minotaur. Here comes another Minotaur. And now he has no food generation right now. He's devoting solely onto that. On the back end, I've already gone ahead and snuck off and built my own town center. So I use a bit of microing here, trying to stop all these guys, right? 5, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, and then one villager. One villager was left, but then he brought over a whole bunch more to go into there, and this fight's lost. Like, there's with the town center, I can only do so much. The Chinook is back here blasting away, doing his thing, which is great, and I have units on the back end spawning, but Greek units are just very strong in themselves. They are just very, very strong. There's not a whole lot that I could do in that regard. So he successfully has defended over onto that at the cost of probably about, like, I don't know, it's probably like 5 or 6 villagers, that's a kind of a heavy loss, so to speak. So I'm still recruiting units onto the back end. I'm running low on essentially all materials and stuff like that. So going over here to get this baboon farm. How many are there? There's like what? No, just want to click the baboons. There's enough baboons. There's a bunch of them over here. I still have my spy over here seeing what's going on. I still have units spawning on this end, but things kind of cool off. He has about the same military that I have. I still have more villagers. I found that the more matches of Age of Mythology that I play, it is heavily emphasized on the amount of actual villagers you have on the back end, because then your units can just essentially be farmed and you know, kind of like, I don't even want to say kind of given away or tossed away, but in a sense, yeah. So I have this large group of units. I have 8 units here, and I'm like, you know, even though this town center's up, he's still pretty good, decent away. So I go ahead and start building a spike trap, which some of our god powers actually, or excuse me, the benefit of having Tez will allow us to have that. So I upgrade this warrior priest into the leaper, and there's just a lot of units, and just overall, these guys are very strong. Just overall, I mean, it's the same thing. But these guys deal slightly more damage is the thing. They deal 1 more damage, and it's enough to kind of like scare them off, right? Now we have both 2 TCs working, and I'm switching over to farm over here onto the back end. I get another one of the hero upgrade gods, and I use the lullaby here, right? And what you do is you use the lullaby, and then you take each one of these units out as quickly as you can by themselves. And Heracles is just an absolute beast and cleaned up this whole fight. Because I was like, all right, we got to take out Heracles. That's got to be our thing. Well, that didn't work out at all. So on the back end, he has now down 12 villagers. And they were not farming for a long period of time. And now he has a whole bunch of upgrades coming through. All the while on my back end, we're pretty well established. I have, how many farms? I have 10 farms over here. I have a whole mess of settlers over here getting wood. But he doesn't have the resources to upgrade to the next stage. Even though he's looking to get all these upgrades, his units are going to get very strong. I immediately queue into the heroic age, and then I get the upgrade for the watchtowers. Now, the watchtowers tend to be a little bit stronger because they can slow, which is really, really cool. But now I have a bit of protection. I have a watchtower here that we can garrison into if need be, but it's just protecting this gold mine. It's essentially all I'm looking to do. I got a spy here, and he's just watching to see what he can see. On the enemy's end, he has 19 military units, and he's going still for more and building a watchtower and everything, which I don't know necessarily. You wouldn't want to build it that close. You would probably want to go over here to protect this gold mine. But now I am into the heroic age, and I'm able to go out and build myself a great temple. And once we get into the great temple, that's where things really start getting spicy. Now we're rolling into equal warriors. On the back end, I also have the caravans, which going from here to here is really not that far, but like, it's okay. I mean, it's still something. So I'm building the Great Hall, or the Great Temple, I should say. We're getting an upgrade for the gold mining, and now the economy is really, like, really starting to go. Really starting to get stuff, which is still funny, is because I feel like I'm doing pretty good, and I still have more villagers than he does, but look at his economy. His economy is still, like, that is a lot of resources to be bringing in that quickly. Now, these guys are bringing in 32 gold each. That's not bad. So we got heavy Eagle Warriors over here onto the back end. He's got medium Hoplites and Toxicities. Now, Eagle Warriors are really interesting because they do high piercing damage, but then they do extra damage to Toxicities, which is something to always keep in mind. Now, I summon a handful of spies, and now I have this great temple. I get the upgrade because of the Star Demon Lady, which allows me to upgrade the heavy temple, or the heavy upgrades for the temple are cheaper. 75 gold, 75 wood, which is phenomenal. So I have this off over here. I have the spies over here, just seeing what we can see. And I'm keeping an eye out, right? Because that's what I want to do. I want to see if I can't pick off anything that's like a little bit cheaper. Over here also, I'm getting Jaguar Warriors. Jaguar Warriors are just so strong. 25 damage per hit. Holy crap. So I have my Eagle Warriors break away from the melee because my Eagle Warriors will 1-for-1 absolutely rock these guys. Will rock Toxicities, no questions asked. He's got a Hydra over here in the background. I don't know. But look at all the upgrades he's got queued. And now he's going into counter infantry and counter archery. So I'm just up here just poking around doing what I can. I get the fortified town center, and then I'm basically queuing up over on the back end. I'm picking off what units that I can. Like, if they come out, then we're going to hit them. I don't want to really fight this one-on-one, but the second that I drop the God Power, he drops Bronze. And yeah, it's like, I'm not going to be able to fight through that. 50 and 50, 60 and 60. Even with the God Powers and the Obsidian Shards, it's not going to do enough. This one up here, though, I don't even know how he got out. But he's out doing his thing, I guess. I don't know. At the same time, I went and took the Jaguar Riders and had them go off and kill off some more villagers. Again, I'm really going to emphasize the longer that I've played this game, the more that it works into my benefit to have those on the back end. Now, I could have microed these a little bit better and picked off some of these guys or something like that, but we still now have nearly a 20 villager lead over onto him. And now I have a total of 4 great temples going with more Jaguar Riders on the back end. My Eagle Warrior core is doing pretty good. Even though it's a heavy peltis, he's still getting rocked, right? And right now, all I'm trying to do is just be annoying, right? Because I have now 5 heavy Jaguars, 6 Jaguars over here onto the back end, and I'm just aggravating them over here. I have more of the Ocelot Warriors coming through, and again, they're still very strong. Right? Like, they still do a pretty good job, but these Eagle Warriors, this group of Eagle Warriors, can deal so much damage just because they have, I believe they have a slight range? Slight, maybe? On them? I'm not 100% on that, but the Hephaestus are up front. The Ocelot Warriors are really just the front line, and the Jaguar Warriors are on the back end, ready to go. I do want to point out that I'm also on my way to the Mythic Age. So we get this engagement, right? And essentially all I'm doing is just kiting away. The Ocelot Warriors, I don't want to say that it disrespectfully, but they're kind of throwaway. We're like, right now, I just need them to be the front line. Let me wean off some of the units, right? Now, here comes the play. He's distracted. He's moved these guys off and away. Here comes a group of 7 Jaguar Riders. And now I'm training Shorn ones, and then on the back end, I'm going to be getting some Smashers, right? He's distracted now, because now he has to try to fight in 2 different fronts. But 6 Jaguar Riders, and they're in there doing work. They're putting in good work right there. So up here, essentially, I'm microing the Eagle Warriors. These guys are just ripping through all of these Hephaestus and these Archer or these Toxicities because they have no counter to them. Right? There is no counter to these guys. They don't. The Hoplites is where he needed to be, but his Hoplites are way over there, way over there. So I'm kiting away while this is all still fighting. I have a group of a handful of Smashers and then some Shorn ones, right? And then on the back end, I'm like kiting back. Here comes another contingent of my Ocelot Warriors and Warrior Priests, and I'm still kiting back. I lost about half of these guys, but we're able to piece apart over here. All the while, my Jaguar Riders are just in the back end eating up this. Look at the economy. 40, nearly 40 of these guys are beaten back. And we're starting to turn the tide here. Ocelot Warriors are going over there. Here comes the Smashers. They're able to, Smashers and the Shorn ones, they're able to get all sorts of work into. We start breaking down the temple on this side as well, being able to push through here. We're getting the mythic upgrades. And it's just been such a heavy sweep. It's so hard to keep fighting. And that's GG. This was a fun match. This was a fun match that I had. And looking at it, like, overall, like, there was a long time where he had, like, the most power. Like, he had most military value. But the thing was is that it was divide and conquer, right? Dividing and then conquering was the biggest thing. It was so hard for him to keep up on both sides while we were still fighting. Because look, 60 villager kills, 0 villager kills. You got to kill those villagers, man. You got to slow down the economy. GG.